Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs audio review. This is take two. In take one, I forgot to actually compare it in any way, shape, or form to the Galileo, which I promised I was going to do, so oops. Anyway, we're going to do it again. Queen of Audio, Vesper 2, under the House Canera umbrella. Don't ever cross House Canera or you'll end up with your head on a pike. That came out better the first time. Anyway, I just started watching Game of Thrones again, so that's kind of where that came from. Poor Eddard Stark. Man, that sucked. You know, Sean Bean, just went through a phase there where he was just getting killed off at the beginning of everything. Got killed off in Lord of the Rings in the first movie, got killed off in the first season of Game of Thrones. I felt bad for the dude. I was like, I kind of liked that actor. Why does he keep dying? Oh, sorry. Really off track there. If you haven't seen Game of Thrones, where have you been? You should check it out. Seriously. It's a commitment, but just do it. Lord knows there's not a heck of a lot of good stuff going on streaming these days. Okay, so let's move some of this stuff over. Majority of the testing on this went through the FIO K11, but I will admit I just finished up listening to them through the there it is, through the TA22 for fun because, well, it's there and it sounds really good. On the Vesper 2, one dynamic driver made out of PET. That's a polymer resin. Just so you know, it's actually what plastic bottles are made out of. I think that's probably why they don't advertise it. I'm guessing when they say liquid crystal polymer, it's probably the same thing. That's what I'm guessing. And a Knowles BA, in particular, a full range 32783 Knowles BA, as I check my notes. Back of the box, we've got specs. So impedance is 23 ohms, sensitivity 114 decibels, 3.5 millimeter termination on a 5N copper silver plated cable, plug interface 2-pin 0.78, and frequency response is 20 hertz to 20 kilohertz. So yeah, this is like the slow ramp from Rick and Morty, the Ricks Must Be Crazy episode. I don't know if you guys have seen that too. Boy, a lot of references on TV shows today. In the box, there is QR codes. Scan them. See what happens. I dare you. And then you've got a nice little instruction and the specs and the graph. See the graph? There's the graph. Graph actually matches up pretty well. Go figure. Here's the cable that I didn't use, but gosh, it's gorgeous. Probably should have used it. Terminates in a 3.5 though, and that just makes things more of a pain for me to do, so I did not utilize it. But this cable, honestly, I feel like it's even nicer than the ones that the cable that I did use is the Celeste cable, because I've got a couple of those. Terminates in a 4.4, but I actually feel like this is a nicer cable. I just wish that they offered the 4.4 termination on it, because wow, it feels like it comes with a lot more expensive IM than one that's $79, which this happens to be. Ear tips, 2 sets, silicone, nice. You've got the wider bore, I think they like to call them vocal tips. There's those guys. I'm never going to get them back in there, am I? Well, yes I am. And then you got your normal bore silicone. So it's always nice to have choices. At this point, I think that my favorite tips have got to be the Divinus Velvet tips. Oh, look at those little guys. So I'm going to plan on buying 3 sets of medium and 3 sets of large, and then I just won't have to do as much rolling because seem to be ending up landing on those most of the time. There's your unboxing. Really nice accessories considering the price point. Now, one thing that Kinera never seems to skimp on are the accessories. And yes, this is $79, so the unboxing is not what you call, like, you know, crazy elaborate, but whatever, it's fine. It's fine. Don't need any more than that. Case, PU leather. Nice soft sort of nylon on the inside. And actually, the kiwi ears, Allegro, fits in there with the cable for your iPhone or your Android, and the IMs. Boom. Just like that. I took this to Wegmans grocery store just so I could do a sound isolation test, and other than that door that's needed oil or WD-40 for like 5 years now, couldn't hear anything. It was great. It was great. So isolation, passive noise canceling is excellent on these guys. The build. 3D printed resin, which seems to be the material and process of choice these days. There's a small vent there, slightly recessed 2-pin connection. Medium nozzle length, I would say, and then you've got the tubes there for both the BA and the DD. So, did I mention the DD was 10 millimeters? I think so. It is. That is nice. These are really comfortable, like really comfortable. And they have this really nice, if you hopefully can see it a little bit, that is hand painted and then coated with clear resin on the faceplate. And you can see Vesper. So classy, smooth, comfortable. Like, yeah, you could for sure sleep with these. Like, they're not too big, and they fit right in, so that you're, like, if you're leaning on your side, you might feel a little pressure, but really not bad at all, honestly. If you get the right tips in there, they're super comfy. So yeah, build quality on these, I would say, for the price point especially, is excellent. But then again, I have come to expect that from Kinera, which, again, Queen of Audio is under that umbrella. My first Queen of Audio set. What do I like about it? Well, I like a lot about it. I will say that it has, just right out of the gate, I was kind of like, wait a minute. You know, I was just coming off of listening to the Tipsy sets, and both of those are fairly energetic and borderline aggressive in the ear gain, right? Like, they're very detailed sets, very energetic, very extended in the treble, both of them. So to go to something that's less aggressive in that ear gain, that 2 to 3K, and then more relaxed in the treble, I was kind of like, for a minute there, I was like, kind of, where are they? Where's the energy of these? What exactly am I getting here? So you got to take a step back, and then the best thing to do is to just try to forget everything that came before it and listen to the set as it is, what it's supposed to be, how it was tuned. And it's not missing anything. It's just a different style tuning. It is more mellow in the ear gain. It is less energetic in the treble. It's less extended. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have detail retrieval. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have decent head stage. It does. Absolutely. It has both of those things. It's just more relaxed. Relax. So, for things like long listening sessions, going to sleep with them, doing other stuff, having them in the background, really good job. Really nice job, Queen of Audio, for that. Which brings me over to the Galileo, the set that I forgot to include in the last video. Oops. Testing these guys side by side, both on 4.4 and both with the Divinus Velvet tips. Medium on the right, large on the left, because of my ear canals. It was really apparent, the difference in the tuning. Like, these guys are very, like, similar to the Vesper. So we'll start with the sub bass. Vesper's fairly rolled off. Galileo has a little bit more rumble to it, but not a ton. Mid bass, excellent. Good presence, good thump. I don't want to say thump and slam. Good presence, impactful, detailed, controlled. Same. Into the mids, both very natural. I remember like saying this was the Galileo was one of the most natural sets that I heard up to that point. These are easily as natural as that. You know, good note weights, engaging, a little tiny bit warm, just, vocals on both of them are excellent, male and female. Male's got the weight, female has the sweetness, equal up to that point. The only thing that the Galileo had more of to that point to speak of was the sub bass, the rumble. But then you get into the ear gain and the treble, and that is where the Galileo goes like kind of like the Tipsy sets, but in the treble it is much brighter and much brighter. Much more spicy, much more sparkly, much more. If you're a treble head, you will probably like these a lot better. But I think I've had treble that's been done better than the Galileo. I'm not saying that the Vesper 2 is better. It's just smoother. It's not as fatiguing. It's not as bright. The intensity of the Galileo and the treble, I think, is where its downfall is. It's just too much. So you have to be careful about what you listen to with it, because if you're listening to something that is active and energetic in that range, then these are going to probably be too much for you. Something I kind of failed to mention in my first run through of the Galileo and their own review. Back to the Vesper, and that is where they parted ways. The treble on the Vesper is, again, as I said, much more relaxed. So, anyway, if you love your treble and you love it spicy and hot, then the Galileo is probably going to be the set for you over these guys. The Vesper does it differently. The Vesper doesn't do it in a sense where there isn't treble or that they seem dark. They have plenty of detail. I don't feel like I'm missing anything with them. It's just, like I said, they're more relaxed. And in that respect, I feel like I kind of favor them a little bit. I would say that the Vesper it's enigmatic. It doesn't really fit into any sort of stereotype, get it? No. Anyway, it has got soundstage, but the soundstage is different. It's different than what I've experienced before. The soundstage isn't high, not super wide, not super forward. It's kind of like middle of your head and back. Like it kind of just pulls you back. That is probably part of the mellowness and relaxing nature of this set. It's not lacking. It still has like 3D ability. It just doesn't go super high. It doesn't go super wide. And it doesn't go super deep. It goes back. I don't really know how to describe it. That's why it's like, it's enigmatic. It's hard to describe. It's different. It's different from other sets that I have. It does things really well. It just does things in its own way. And I like that. I like that about it. Tracks and genres that this did well. Metal rating is 8 out of 10. It gets a point off for the lack of intensity in the treble and a point off for not having a super good amount of sub-bass rumble. 8 out of 10 is still a really solid score, so it did better with Tool, Mastodon, Spirit Box, I can't think of the name of it right now. the band, the track's Lydia, highly suspect. Thank you very much. Those are really, really good. I would say K-pop and pop were excellent. Like Pink was really good. New Jeans was really good. Dreamcatcher was really good. Like, it has kind of like that. It's got that sort of like just. I don't want to say mainstream. It just is really good at a lot of things that people listen to. So your jazz, your classical, your pop, your rock, your K-pop, your hip-hop and R&B, like there's no lack of mid-bass on these. So it did things like Drake and Future and Jay-Z really friggin' well. Like really well. So there's just not a lot. They're kind of all-arounders, you know? It's just that they have their own way of doing it, and that way of doing it does not include a heck of a lot of treble extension or sub-bass extension. It's just kind of in the middle, which we all are kind of in the middle, right? So I get it. I get what they went for, and I think they got it done really, really well. Would I recommend this set? Yes. I think that the price is absolutely on point for these guys. Anywhere from $60 to $100 would be appropriate. What is right between 60 and 100? 80. What is the cost of these? 79. Well done. Like really targeted. Like very smart. So yeah, they get a recommendation. Not a highly recommended, because I feel like that they're just a little bit too tame in the treble, and they're just a little bit too rolled off in the sub bass. And I don't think they necessarily overperform for their price point. Right? Anywhere up to $100 would be a reasonable ask for these. Anything over $100, I think that you're getting into too much competition. But if you do like things relaxed, if you don't like your treble too spicy, these are a really good set. Really, really enjoyable. So with that, we're going to wrap it up. Hopefully take 2 was better than take 1, but who knows. At least I remembered to comp the Galileo this time. Yeah. House Canera, nice job with the Queen of Audio, Vesper 2. Very enjoyable. And with that, nothing but love to you, nothing but peace to you. And we'll see you next time. Take care.